Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. We just got the second hint in 2 days directly from the SEC. That's right, from the SEC itself, which would lead any rational individual to believe that the appeal regarding the SEC v. Ripple case is going to go away. It's going to go bye-bye. And I'll explain exactly why I'm saying that. There's also this headline from Cointelegraph: 2025 XRP ETF approval odds hit 81% on Polymarket. You know what? It almost seems like for all of us that have been here for many, many years, believing that XRP always made sense, it kind of is looking like we were freaking right. And now everyone else is coming around. Vindication is absolutely fantastic. Also, this headline from the Crypto Basic: Ripple CEO optimistic about U.S. crypto regulation after meeting with key policymakers in D.C. That's right. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse meeting with some of the most influential humans in the United States Congress. And he's obviously been in direct communication with President Trump. He has spoken, he said this publicly, he has spoken with President Trump about having XRP as a reserve asset for the United States. Not the only one, but as a national stockpile. Don't be surprised if all of this happens and we get an XRP, multiple XRP ETFs probably. This speculation is going to run rampant. And this is all happening during a bull run. Yeah, I think maybe we picked a winner here. Maybe just a little bit. Call me crazy. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so just as a quick refresher, the first hint we got that this is the case, that the SEC and Ripple appeals are going to go away, which, I mean, let's be real, like, we kind of knew that with the change in administration, Gensler going away, pro-crypto administration, but the first real hint we saw from the SEC, we got the other day. It was Thursday, technically, which resulted in this headline on Friday. First major sign that SEC may soon drop Ripple lawsuit. And I covered this in depth, but I just want to kind of set the table because we got another add-on here to this story. But it was the SEC doing something they didn't have to do. Acknowledging, it was grayscales. Let me go down here. Yeah, here we go. Specifically on Thursday, the SEC acknowledged NYSE's, New York Stock Exchange's, application to list Grayscale's XRP ETF. This marks the first step in the approval process. Okay, so during previous administrations, when the SEC just wanted to stonewall effectively, they just didn't do anything. That's what they did for years and years and years and years. They just didn't respond. In fact, they wouldn't respond to anything until, by law, they were actually required to acknowledge any sort of filing. That's literally what they did for years. Here, we have them acknowledging this, which they absolutely did not have to do. And it's while the appeal is still ongoing. But a couple things on that. So well, let me highlight this first. So there's this post from Nate Garachi. He's the president of the ETF store. And he wrote, shocked more people aren't talking about SEC accepting XRP ETF filing. They have open litigation with Ripple. Meanwhile, they just acknowledged filing of ETF holding asset in dispute. They could easily have rejected this filing. So read that again. Meanwhile, they just acknowledged filing of ETF holding asset in dispute. Enormous message, in my opinion. See, the thing is, the ETF holding asset, XRP, it's not in dispute. And so nothing against him. He probably literally just doesn't know this. He's probably aware that XRP got legal clarity back in July 13, and then he probably made the assumption that once the SEC filed an appeal that XRP no longer has legal clarity. People make that mistake all the time. That is not true. The appeal only concerns specific transactions that Ripple made. So even if the appeal were successful, that would be too bad, so sad for Ripple, unfortunately, but it would only apply to them. It would not change the legal status of XRP. XRP wouldn't have to be delisted from exchanges, nothing. And so the fact that the SEC did this, it certainly indicates a sea change, like no question there. Obviously, SEC, I mean, let's be real, from the U.S. government, from the top on down, every government agency, it's now going to be pro-crypto. That is the decree from the Trump administration. Be pro-crypto here. And so for that reason alone, frankly, the Ripple lawsuit's going away. But the fact that there's a lawsuit with Ripple doesn't mean that XRP couldn't get approved for an ETF anyway, even if the SEC did persist with that lawsuit, which I do not believe it will. Of course not. But it could still proceed. The asset is not in dispute. So he's just making a mistake there, and I keep seeing that mistake made from tons and tons of people here. But look, we got another hint here. This is the second one. SEC acknowledges 21 shares XRP ETF filing. XRP price jumps 17% as approval windows open. The US SEC has recognized another XRP ETF filing, bringing the product one step closer to approval. On Friday, and this is 2 days in a row now, on Friday, the regulatory agency acknowledged the XRP ETF application from asset manager 21 Shares. This comes just a day after it recognized Grayscale's XRP ETF application. This development has sparked significant excitement within the XRP community, as many see it as a sign that approval is imminent. Okay, well, I'll just say I don't think it's literally imminent. I think you're going to see, frankly, if you're asking what the timeline is, I think you're going to see the lawsuit go away first. And attorney Jeremy Hogan has predicted that it's probably going to be April or May. He doesn't deny it could happen sooner than that, though. But he thinks that an ETF getting approved is probably going to take a little bit longer there for procedural reasons. But this is important for all of us. And so there's this post from Eleanor Terrett, and I shared it just yesterday. So let me just share a key portion of it again today here for anyone that may have missed it. She's explaining, Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett is explaining why this matters to us. She says, because it means this SEC is being more open-minded and not flat-out refusing to consider these products. Recall exchanges pulled the Solana 19B-4 applications in December when the Gensler SEC signaled it would not engage with them. To be sure, there's still a whole process to go through with all of these new crypto ETF filings, Litecoin, Doge, Solana, XRP, etc. But this is a good first step, as it means there's at least a chance these products could launch in the future. Yeah, so I'll just say, I think it's more than just a little bit of a chance, though. I think it's a virtual certainty. And betting markets agree. Take a look at this. This is a story referencing Polymarket, which I don't know a ton about, but it gets referenced constantly, not just in crypto, but just in pop culture in general. And it's just a prediction market for various things. And so you can bet on the odds of various things happening, including this. So the headline here from Cointelegraph, 2025 XRP ETF approval odds hit 81% on Polymarket. XRP has surged by more than 10% over the past 2 days due to positive developments, including the initial approval of exchange-traded funds and real-world assets introduction on the XRP ledger. And so here's the relevant portion. After the positive news, the betting odds for an XRP ETF approval in 2025 increased to 81% on Polymarket. Again, folks, it's almost like we were right. Over the past month, the probability of approval has swung 23% in favor of the bullish masses, which was around 70% in January 2025. The polls were split near even when the approval time was limited to July 31st, where 45% of the bettors believed a favorable outcome before Q3 2025. However, Jeremy Hogan, partner at Hogan & Hogan, believed that the XRP ETF might take a while before it is tradable in the market. Hogan, who was largely vocal on X during the SEC Ripple Labs lawsuit, has been a pro-XRP commentator and advocate, yet when pressed on a possible timeline for complete approval, the lawyer said, quote, yes, the approval can happen that fast, but then the S1 has to be approved, etc. So think of it more like 8 to 12 months. Okay, and so that's in line with what I keep seeing from tons of different people who would reasonably, like you'd expect them to know, like Attorney Hogan. So this year, yes, but a little bit later in this year. Good chance the bull run's going to be over by then, but I don't think that matters. XRP is going to run and melt faces regardless, in my humble opinion. But still, you love to see this. We picked a freaking winner, and I'm going to insist this to the day I die. This is like one of the most obvious, clear bets that there possibly could have ever been in crypto. From the day I jumped into crypto in 2017, I have always firmly believed that. And now everybody's catching up. And I know so many of you out there are in the same boat. Regardless of whether you've been here longer or shorter than me, it doesn't matter. I bet that you guys, when you figured this out, you're like, I know something that most of the world doesn't know. Yeah, you do. You actually do, as it turns out. Everybody's catching up to us now. Then we have this. Ripple CEO optimistic about U.S. crypto regulation after meeting with key policymakers in D.C. And I'll be brief with this one, but it's just worth noting because, look, Ripple continues to be the company. They're the adult in the room. That was being stated well before I even knew XRP existed, because that was always their goal, to be compliant from a legal perspective, so on and so forth. And now they're with the people that you would expect such an adult to be mingling with here. People in Congress. This could not be going better. It's literally possible for this to be going better than it is right now. And so here he shared this post the other day. This is Brad Garlinghouse on X. And he shared 3 pictures. I'll make them full screen here. I'll scroll through them as I read. He said, walked away from an action-packed day in D.C. yesterday with the feeling that there is finally an incredible opportunity to advance meaningful bipartisan legislation that establishes clear, constructive, and pro-innovation regulatory frameworks for crypto. And then he thanked a bunch of representatives here. And I recognize this guy right here. That's Richie Torres. He's one of the very few Democrats that is pro-crypto, and he was even under the Biden administration. And so credit where it is due, because his party is not pro-crypto. And that did not help them at the ballot box. That's very obvious. But credit where it's due. He has been consistently pro-crypto. He refused to toe the party line. Credit where it's due. So that's him right there on the left. Of course, Brad Garlinghouse and others here. And you love to see it. And then there is this from Rep Bill, and I have forgotten how to say this last name. If I heard it, I'd be like, yeah, that's the one. Huizenga. So I'm just not even going to try it. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so here's a representative from Congress. He says, he reposted what I just shared with you from Brad Garlinghouse, and he wrote, "So glad to be a part of these important conversations both now and over the years. And thanks for your and your team's engagement over the years, Brad Garlinghouse. We are within striking distance." Wow, damn. Damn indeed. We are here. Folks, we have arrived. Like, we just got to wait a little bit more for the face melting session to begin. But we were right. It's playing out. And it's even better. Like, thanks to the way the election went, this is going even better than I had hoped. I was always optimistic, but this is like, it's putting things on steroids effectively. Like, this is amazing to see here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.